Hello there. You're watching NAPTIP On The Move. I'm Angela Adwegi. Once human trafficking is mentioned, what comes to mind is external trafficking. Well, human trafficking is prevalent in Nigeria. Today we're looking at internal trafficking. Stay put. It's NAPTIP On The Move.
Human trafficking is a crime that entails the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring or receipts of persons through force, fraud or deception with the sole aim of exploitation. Human trafficking can be external, which is international, or internal.
Internal trafficking, that is when people are trafficked within their own country. It could be within a state, meaning trafficking them from the rural community into any of the cities or towns within the same state, or moving them from their own state to another state. You move a victim, vulnerable person, and you take this person to Lagos in the name of taking this person to help, put this person in school, get this person a job, and to better the life of this person. So long as there is that movement from that original place of abode to a different place where the person is exploited within the state, or moved from that place to a different state within the same country, that is internal trafficking.
There are various forms of internal trafficking.
Some people are trafficked for sexual exploitation. Some people are trafficked for domestic servitude. Some people are trafficked for debt bondage. They traffic them to farms. They say until you finish your farm for 1 or 2 years, you are not free to go. Some people are trafficked for child labor, and some people are equally trafficked for all diverse manner of ways. Even locally, they say they want to play ball. They can leave their villages because they want to play ball in Kaduna, they want to play ball in Sokoto, they want to play ball in Ibadan or Lagos. But actually, at the end of the day, they are not playing that ball. They get there, they are trapped, and then they are forced to go and work on cocoa plantation. They are forced to go and work in factories. And then in these factories, they are not well paid, if at all they are paid at all. And again, they can't move. Their movement is restricted. All these are internal trafficking. Again, some people are trafficked because just to lead beggars. You see all these beggars you see in the cities. They are small children leading them. They are not their children most of the time. They are trafficked children. And when they are trafficked like that, they don't have access to go to school. They don't have any Medicare. They are exposed to all manner of risk. The girls shared among them who are trafficked, they are exposed to sexual exploitation, molestation. The boys are exposed to sodomy and all manner of issues. Internal trafficking is equally much. Most of the trafficking is even more internal, but the external one gets more prominent because of the international bent to it.
The operation of baby factories, illegal orphanages and abduction of children has become very rampant.
baby factory, as we know, where evil-minded people go erect places where they keep as maternities, where they bring in girls. Some of them, they bring some men to impregnate them. Some of the girls are also girls that got pregnant somewhere. Because of the shame, they cannot also go back to their homes. Some of these people bring them into those places, take care of them until they come to term where they will deliver. And these people also, because they make themselves become like maternities, some people believe they can give birth there. But all that is going on there are exchange of children, where somebody comes up with the so-called cryptic pregnancy. They come in there, they inject them into something, and they inject something into them where they feel that they are pregnant, and on the slated day, they come in there, they do all the abracadabra, where they think that they have delivered. And what have they done? They go pick the child among those they have already gotten, or among those they have even stolen and brought into their home and hand over, and the person is rejoicing. The person is going to his worship center to do thanksgiving that she has delivered. It is a big problem. It is one of the growing industries in Nigeria right now. Growing industries, but the criminal industry. Some of them are even given out to people who carry those children abroad. We have a number of cases like that we have also dealt with here. We have done DNA. DNA was for us to also be double sure of our investigation. And the DNAs will tell you there's no relationship with this woman and this child. Some will come with twins. DNA will say there's no relationship with these two children and this mother, and actually there's no relation between this child and this other child. So what do you say to that? There's also the stealing of children, abduction of children, where people go to some places, they abduct children, very little children, and they go to various places, begin to claim to be working with some orphanages, begin to claim to be working with some state ministries of women affairs, that these children are up for adoption. And you know, because of the importance we attach to children in this country, people who don't have children are desperate to have children, and they believe these antics and they go for it.
In Nigeria, trafficking in persons is no longer peculiar to any state.
All the states are prevalent. There's no state you can point at as the most prevalent or most vulnerable. Just like every state is vulnerable as far as trafficking is concerned, every state is also involved in internal trafficking. If they are not involved as a source where these children are taken, they are also involved as transit, because the people taking these children are passing through there, or they become a destination to this internal trafficking.
The prevalency rate depends on initial trafficking. If you are talking of people trafficking for labor exploitation, especially in the eastern part of the country, the southwest also prevalent for labor exploitation and sexual exploitation. You know, in the north, sexual exploitation, and then child beggars. You know.
Why does internal human trafficking thrive?
There are so many things in trafficking, especially the internal trafficking, that before now we are culturally accepted as a norm. Let's look at the fostering system. Many of us have become whatever we have become today because of the fostering system. Now, it is no longer the same thing. This same fostering system, criminals are now capitalizing on it to destroy the lives of young men and women. Let me give you an example. Today, many house helps are in various homes. There are women and men who go from one village to the other as recruiters. And what do? They go to some relatives and pose as good people who feel that they have brought some goodies for them. They go from one house to the other, talking to them to release their children, to take them to a place where they can be helped, to take them to places where they can find jobs for them. They are not going to tell these families that the job we are going to do is that we are going to distribute them as slaves in homes in the cities. And because the person who is introducing this system to a family is a relative, is a close associate of this family, because it's important to say that trafficking does not thrive in the absence of a close relative.
NAPTIP receives several reports of internal trafficking, especially abduction of children and domestic servitude.
A woman whose children have all grown wanted to adopt some children who will be running around with her so that she will also help them. The woman is rich, so that she can help them. And she was making inquiries, and somebody introduced him to this young man who claimed to be working with a state ministry of women affairs and who was in charge of orphanages. And before you know it, they brought 3 children to her. She saw the papers, filled all the papers, did all the documentation, did all the court papers that they brought to her, and everything was looking beautifully genuine. And the woman started to take care of these children. One day, one of her children, who lives in another city, came to her, saw these children, beautiful children. She now decided to take one of them to take care of over there. Getting to the school now to register this young girl, she mentioned the name of the girl. Then and there, the girl protested that is not her name. How? That's what Mama calls you. He said, Auntie, that is not my name. Oh. What is your name? She mentioned a different name. The woman kept calm until they went home. She now started asking the girl question. The girl now started telling how she came in contact with the person who brought her to Mama. That's how the lady left the city again, came back with the child to Mama. The mother started little asking questions, and now discovered that guy who brought these children were not genuine. She came and reported. We had to arrest him. In the course of that, he now told us other children he had kidnapped and where he sold them to. Operative had to start moving from one state to the other until we were able to retrieve all the children that this young man stole and sold. There was also one who went in the name of trying to help children and their families somewhere around Kuje. Before you know it, this woman had collected about 170 something children in the name of helping them. When these women started looking for them, they could no longer get information. They went to this woman, the woman could not say anything anymore. And the woman was even trying to fight them. They reported. We went after this woman. As at today, the woman is being prosecuted in court. We have been able to retrieve about 40-something of those children. So others are still pending, and we are still in search of them. Abduction of children, stealing of children in the name of orphanage, in the name of illegal adoption, is also very prevalent.
The agency has intensified efforts in its fight against human trafficking. However, Nigerians must be vigilant.
Let's start at this family level. There's a lot of responsibility for parents. Don't be an absentee father. have children you can cater for. Do you know that some of these children that are trafficked is so pathetic? We handle cases of children who are trafficked and they are terribly exploited and abused. Yet, you want to take them back to their mothers. The mother at home says, don't bring her back to me. I cannot take care of her. The children are denied the parental love because they have so many and they don't even know what to do with them. So you see mother willingly giving her children, parents giving her children, and they say whatever happens, let our destiny speak. So absentee fathers, parents not being alive to their responsibilities.
Nigeria should open their eyes. When you see those things, ask questions. Ask questions. Because we all have a responsibility to protect our people. We all have a responsibility to protect these young people. Because these are the people that we chorus as leaders of tomorrow. Where we all keep quiet now, and these leaders of tomorrow are destroyed today, there may be no tomorrow.
Internal trafficking is a huge problem in Nigeria. This indeed calls for concerted efforts by all stakeholders and the general public to curb this crime. Support NAPTIP by reporting all cases of human trafficking. NAPTIP On The Move is sponsored by the International Organization for Migration, IOM.
Be your brother's keeper. Let's report all cases of human trafficking. Our event segment is up next. You're still watching NAPTIP On The Move. The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, played host to a delegation from the Akin Fadeyi Foundation at the agency's headquarters, Abuja. The team was led by the head of programs, Oluwatomi Okiowo. While briefing the Director General, the group informed the management about its anti-corruption reporting app, Flagit, which was designed to support the fight against corruption, sexual and gender-based violence, including cyberbullying, amongst other issues, as well as sought the collaboration of the agency. In her response, the Director General, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, expressed dissatisfaction at the increasing rates of cyberbullying and child trafficking in the country, adding that the agency had increased its strategies to curb the frequency. According to her, measures taken to address the disturbing trends include strengthened partnership with civil society organizations to create an avenue for young people to report cases and also express themselves in a peer group. Such platforms include the Anti-Human Trafficking Vanguard in secondary schools and clubs in tertiary institutions. She added that the agency had commenced dialogue with the relevant arm of government to enhance access to justice and urged members of the public to study the content of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law in order to be properly informed in seeking appropriate restitution when necessary. The Enugu Zonal Command of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has arrested a Togolese man known as Johnson Mande Achiso for allegedly brutalizing his children with dangerous weapons, thereby inflicting serious injuries on them. Concerned members of the general public provided the tip which led to the arrest of the man at Ugwaji area in Enugu metropolis. The suspect is being accused of physically assaulting his children with a hammer, knife and rod. The children have been rescued and are currently at the NAPTIP shelter for comprehensive rehabilitation. The suspect is at the holding center of the agency undergoing further interrogation. The Justice Research Institute, in collaboration with the National Human Rights Commission and UN Women, with funding from the Ford Foundation, recently organized a 10-day training on sexual and gender-based violence for the Nigeria Police Gender Desk officers across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The training, which was initiated by the former Senior Special Assistant to the President on Rule of Law, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, was informed by a nationwide protest on the rising incidence of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria. Lead training consultant on the project, Assistant Inspector General AIG Austin Iwa, retired, stated the objective of the training while presenting a situational analysis of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria.
The objective of this training is to ensure that you have the necessary knowledge, skills, and competencies to handle these cases. So it is not just a knowledge-based training like you have there, knowledge building. It is not just about knowledge building, but it is also about capacity. It is also about skills. But for me, most importantly, it's also about your attitude and behavior when handling this case. Attitude and behavior.
The Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, made presentations on the introduction to sexual and gender-based violence, key concepts and definitions, and legal framework of violence against women in Nigeria. She also highlighted the provisions of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act.
The VAP Act is Nigeria's most revolutionary gender-responsive law because we've never had this kind of law before. The Act prohibits incest, indecent exposure, FGM, forceful ejection from home, economic abuse, harassment, forced isolation and separation. Then, of course, we have harmful widow practice, traditional practice, abandonment of spouse and children, spousal battery, stalking, attack with harmful substance, intimidation.
The training was highly interactive, as participants were engaged in quiz competitions, group exercises, and assignments to enhance their knowledge and skills on issues of sexual and gender-based violence. Deputy Commissioner of Police and Head of Gender Force Criminal Investigation Department, CID, Margaret Ochala, and Assistant Commissioner of Police, Ramatu Sada, were in attendance. The 10-day training ended with a speech by the Commissioner of Police in charge of training, Abdul Yari, and the presentation of certificates to all participants. Officials of the Action Against Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants project, led by Sani Dantuni, recently donated operational tools to NAPTIP. Receiving the donation, the Director General of NAPTIP, Dr. Fatima Waziri Azi, commended the management of the ATIPSM project for its sustained support and collaboration with the agency in the fight against human trafficking. She said that the operational tools would be put to good use. The ATIPSM project is implemented by FIAP and funded by the European Union. The Victim Story segment is coming up. Let's hear an account of a victim. Keep watching.
I was at one certain day, and I can't forget that day, Sunday, when one woman come that he needs some girls that will take to Abuja for us help. For the sake of school, I accept. Before the ending of that week, then settle everything. September 2nd, we come to Abuja. I stay with my auntie. She had only one child. So I live a week. She was treating me well, and I was doing well. The next 2 months, she changed. Any small thing, she would start beating me. So one certain day like this, on Sunday, just come back from church. Dad, I did not eat in the morning. I was hungry. So she now said I should go and select rice. So I was selecting the rice. Then the baby now come and pour the rice. So I used the hanger and slap the baby face. So she now come. So I was not like, I did not mean it, but I'm angry. She now slapped me. Was beating me. Using things that is beside her. Her high heel that she hear, hitting me on my head. I bear it just because of school. And I'm not going to school, man. I'm going to school 10 o'clock. I'll go to school when I've already do break. Come back 2 o'clock. Then prepare for her baby things. So he used to come back around 12 in the night. So I got to keep waiting till when she's back around 12. Then I'll prepare whatever she bring. Before I do everything, then wash the things that she use. Before I've knocked, then I'll not sleep, then wake up to 6. My neighbor now noticed that. Then people were not like, let her stop. One day she may kill me in the process of beating. Not that she's using only hand to beat me. She used anything, mortar, knife, pistol, hit me on my back. Whatever beside her, charger, wire. So one certain day like this, she went out and come back. No food for me and her baby. So she now said that her baby eat. I say no. She now say why? I say cause there is no food. She slapped me on my face. Then she tear my lips, blood come out. Then she bring pepper, wet it, then pour it on my eye. Then naked me, make that she go and kneel down outside. Nakedness and whole block on my hand. Then raise it up. Then she keep me there. From that 11 to 3 o'clock in the sun. Neighbor were like, why will she do this kind of thing? That is it not disgrace? Then she now said that then let them mind their business. That they are not the one that brought me to this Abuja. They are not the one spending money on my head. So whatever she's doing to me, that I should not concern them. The next day, when I was going to around the car 10, then I see NAPTIP car passing, but I don't know that they are the one. So immediately I just enter inside to drop my bag. That is when I hear that they are looking for someone. So they now ask me everything. They now snap all the mark. That one, the Sunday first that the thing happened, she slapped me on my ear. Blood come out. My ear, nose. Then she hit me more than my head. I injured. So through that, NAPTIP then snap all the marks, blood coming out from my ear, and she did not maltreat me. Since I'm that woman's house, I've never tasted paracetamol. Anything that happened to me, it will go on its own. So I believe that it's God that is healing me. So then I take me to NAPTIP. Now I'm going to school and in PR6, went to JSS1. I'm happy for being in school. I've rather thank NAPTIP and Whatclef for rescuing my life.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking, violence against persons and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotline 0703 0000 203 or the short code 627, or email us info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria, or watch our videos on YouTube.
This is where we end today's episode of NAPTIP On The Move. Thank you for watching, and do join us again at same time next week. My name is Angela Agbegi. Bye for now.